Hi, I know I just put a video out recently, but 2020 is broken. I don't know if you heard, and I would like my money back. So everything has been going wrong in succession, and today is no exception. Still been listening to too much Hamilton, because I can't stop speaking in rhymes. Anyway, on to why I'm making this video. It turns out that Twitter is a bad website. I know. Hot take. Yesterday, Twitter witnessed a gigantic hack. Probably like nearly the worst case scenario for a website like Twitter. Some scammers were able to tweet from the world's most influential Twitter accounts, world leaders, entertainers, brands, companies, you name it. They were able to control all of these accounts and tweeted a Twitter scam promising to double your money. Now's a good time to remind my parents that it wasn't a waste of time that I played RuneScape as a child, because I saw this one coming from a mile away. Pretty much every account you can imagine tweeted out a nearly identical message. We've decided to give back to our community. All Bitcoin sent to our address will be sent back doubled. If you send us 0.5 BTC, we will send you back 1 BTC. What a confusing message, if I do say so myself. Not a lot of people understand Bitcoin. Look, I want to give back to the community, so I'm going to double your money. As long as you send it to this untraceable, untrackable address where it's irreversible. So, you trust me, right? I'm Barack Obama.
Barack Obama? Look.
Yeah, they got Barack Obama. They got Kanye West, though that's not surprising. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, of course. Gotta get him in there. Mr. Beast, which is maybe the most believable of all, because this is probably something that he might do someday. Not anymore, I hope. And the least believable is like XXXTentacion, because he's passed away. You know, I don't think these scammers have the best moral compass. Who knew? Also, for the couple of hours that this whole thing was going on, Twitter stepped in to like disable the affected accounts, but then they just prevented all verified accounts from tweeting, and not to flex, but I am verified. And so they wouldn't let me tweet my hot takes about Twitter. I was silenced by the machine, and I will not stand for this affront to my rights. I won't stand for this affront to my rights, Twitter. You'll be hearing from my YouTube channel. So I'm making this video for a couple of reasons. One, I want to share my perspective, having worked in tech for the majority of my career.
Golly gee, I only know theoretical algorithms, so I guess I'm useless.
Until the YouTube thing. And also to share a bit of advice, because I feel like this is a good learning opportunity for all of us. And finally, just to roast Twitter, because like this is unacceptable. Your CEO is the CEO of 2 companies. And maybe that's not the best idea if you're having such a hard time preventing your website from being hacked. Maybe there should be someone focused on one job. Just a thought. So first off, I want to impart a little wisdom on you. If something seems too good to be true, it is. You're gonna save yourself a lot of scamming. If when things look too good to be true, you're suspicious. Unfortunately here, like 400 people weren't suspicious, and they were scammed to the tune of like over $100,000. So all things considered, it could have been much worse, but you know, just don't do this. For those who don't know, Bitcoin transaction records are public, and you can actually see all of the transactions that were made to this account, unfortunately. And it's sad to see thousands of dollars being sent from people who hoped to have their money doubled, because I'm sure some of them would have really been aided by by the money. And I'm sure a lot of people who would have fallen for this didn't, because most people don't know what Bitcoin is. So it turns out that there were 400 people yesterday who know something about Bitcoin, but are also scammable. Someone with the power to tweet from any account could have done much more damage to stock markets and stuff. You know, like sometimes Elon Musk will tweet a meme or whatever, and then like Tesla's stock drops because the meme wasn't dank enough. They could have had Jeff Bezos tweet that he was stepping down from Amazon. They could have done a number of bad things, but they wanted to make out with 100K, which, you know, if they wanted, Twitter could afford to repay all of these people who were scammed, because to the company, I'm sure they have the money to do that. And also, this should serve as a wake-up call for Twitter. How could a website so robust as the website where we shitpost 280 characters at a time be hacked? Who's at the bottom of this? Early reports are saying that social engineering was at play, which is just a fancy term for saying someone inside of Twitter was either tricked or paid off by the bad guys to do their dirty work for them. I sincerely hope that it was trickery and not, and someone doesn't think that slice of 100K is worth the immense amount of personal risk they're taking on. It's just not work. Crime doesn't pay. Kids, biggest, most important takeaway here is that, say it with me now, Twitter is a bad website. You'll notice that Donald Trump's Twitter account, which is one of the most like paid attention to accounts on the platform, did not tweet this scam. And that's because 2 years ago, a support staff at Twitter deleted his account in an act of protest, and Twitter put extra safeguards in place to prevent people from accessing his account. Why not institute that for more than just one influential account, Twitter? Or how about when people were paid off to steal Twitter secrets and report them to the Saudi government? What I'm saying is you've had enough warnings and trial runs at preventing something like this from happening, Twitter. What the hell are you doing? I'm seeing a lot of people flabbergasted that someone at Twitter would be able to tweet from someone else's account. And to that I say, I have bad news. Many social media websites like Twitter have tools for their support staff primarily where they can like take over accounts and troubleshoot issues and do all that stuff. But that access needs to be locked down, and that needs to be, you know, treated with a lot of care and trust. It seems like these hackers, I guess we're calling them hackers, they got access to this internal tool and used it apparently to cause a ruckus. Twitter, by the way, is suspending people who tweet screenshots of the internal tool that's going out, so that's interesting. I guess they don't want to look bad. The problem with Twitter, though, is that they've had ample time to protect and secure access from all of their accounts, but specifically the most influential ones from any rogue Twitter employee from tweeting from the account. I worked at smaller companies that, like, while they're young, scrappy, and hungry and not throwing away their shot, they don't invest enough in security and protection of their users because they just don't have the resources to do so. And even though that's like kind of a sketchy defense, Twitter is a public company and it's been around for fucking ever. The platform has barely changed in the past 10 years. I think if you're not investing in this kind of infrastructure, then what are you doing? At more established companies, we've already learned the lesson that access to user accounts should be protected, because we've read countless stories about how rogue Google employees were able to like spy on search history and harass people and stuff. Like, this is old news. Uber was under fire for like its God mode tool or whatever. Like, Snapchat has a thing. We know about it. Come on, guys. Someone deleted Trump's account 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So in conclusion, we've got to be better about this stuff because it puts everyone at risk. Invest in internal tools, protect your support employees who are not paid enough to be like targeted for scams and shit to get access to influential accounts. Like, I can't blame support staff unless they were like malicious actors or whatever, because if they were, tricked into this, like, I still blame the corporate. I still blame Twitter. Any company that's like serious about security is doing consistent tests internally for things like phishing attempts and stuff like that. Like when I was, at a number of companies, the security team would send us sketchy emails and pretend to be people that they weren't, to see if they could compromise our accounts or lead us to that direction so that we could know and educate employees about the risks with doing certain activities. I'm not saying Twitter isn't doing that. I'm just saying there's kind of a string of issues here that shouldn't have happened to begin with for a company of this maturity. And I know I haven't talked about tech stuff in a while, and I probably won't be talking about it much in the future unless shit like this keeps happening. But let's hope it doesn't. That's been Angry Ranty Jarvis. Now back to your regularly scheduled life hack or something.